Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Living Purposely on Purpose. Today, I have another guest who is going to just share her story with you on how it means to live in purpose. I'm excited to have Etienny here. All the way from Australia, and she's going to go deep into how she is and how she became the woman that she is today. I can't wait for you guys to listen and learn and get another perspective on what it means to live in purpose. So I am going to join her to the live right now, to the recording. So welcome, Etienne to the stage. Hi, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here today with everyone.
I
Thank
am
you.
so happy to have you. So let's get into it. Why don't you share with everyone who you are and everything, just a little bit about who you are as a person, your name, where you live, um, if you're married, if you're single, if you have children, things like that. Let the audience get to know you a little bit.
So, I am from Brazil. I've been living in Australia now for more than 10 years. I came to Australia in 2013. So, the Brazilian government was doing this really great program that's called Science Without Borders. So, they would allow good students to study on universities across the world. Actually, some students went to America as well, some of my colleagues. And we had this amazing experience of studying on the best universities around the world. I had the opportunity to come to Australia in 2013 to continue my studies in architecture. And that's fall in love with Australia, and I met my husband here as well. So what happened was during my studies here, when I was studying the scholarship, I met my husband, um, and then we started a relationship. Then I went back to Brazil for a while. Then I came back to Australia. So, and now it's been my home for a few years, and we're about to have a child in 4 months. So we're very excited, really looking forward to have a little girl. So yes,
Oh, wow. Well, you've told us quite a lot already. So you're originally from Brazil, and then you ended up going to Australia because of a program that was running in your country that gave you that opportunity. And in so doing, you were able to meet your husband while there. Am I
yes,
right
that's
so far?
correct. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh,
So
it's
then
funny
you went,
because
go ahead. I'm listening.
sorry, it's funny because you don't expect that because when we came, I came with the mindset that I came for a year and a half just to study here, and then I would go back and back to Brazil. But life just full of surprises.
So let me ask you, did you stay in touch with him when you went back to Brazil? Like how did you guys maintain that connection?
Yes, we did. It was really hard because we stayed a year apart, but we always talked on Facebook saved our lives. So at the time, we would just FaceTime each other and talk every day and see how
Wow.
we're going. And then he went to Brazil to meet my parents. And the idea was for him to live in Brazil for a while with me, but he didn't realize that most people in Brazil doesn't speak English. So when he got in Brazil, he got a bit scared. Oh my gosh, nobody speak English here. Yes.
So it's so funny that you say that because I recently started watching 90 Day the Other Way. And that's like a show where someone will go to another country to be with their, expected fiance or, wife or husband. And they get there and they don't know the language. So it was so like, wow, it just reminded me of that. But so he came to Brazil. And how long was he there before deciding that this wasn't going to be where you guys ended up?
He stayed there for a month. Was a really good month. So we went to some beautiful places like Rio, and he had a really good time there. But then he just was a bit scared, like I wouldn't be able to find a job in Brazil because he couldn't speak Portuguese. And learning a language, I'll tell you something, it's not the easiest thing. Take a bit of effort, and I would say at least a bit of time.
Yes.
So he came back to Australia, and then we continued to have a long distance relationship.
And how long did you guys have that long distance relationship going?
Oh, that was probably a year and a half. And
Okay.
then we he did a lot of research. We both like trying to work it out how it's going to work. And then after a bit of research, we decided that the best thing to do was for me to come to Australia and finish my studies here in architecture and live here with him, because I could speak the language, I could finish my studies, get a job, and then in the end, that's what we've done. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. I just love the idea of the fact that you went to this unknown place like Australia, and a way was open for you to get there. And then by so doing, you meet the love of your life.
Yes,
Talk
it's
about
really interesting. Yeah, I really love this story about our relationship as well.
and how long have you guys been married now?
We've been married for 5 years, but we've been together for more than 10 years now. So time just fly. It's
Right.
crazy. Yeah.
And how old were you when you went abroad for this, opportunity?
I was 24 years old when I came.
Wow. And how long
Yeah.
after you got there did you meet him?
About 7 months after I was here, I
7
met
months.
him. Yes. It's like we arrive, and me and my friends, our English wasn't great, but it's compared to compared to someone that arrives, our English was quite good. So we just want to speak with people and try to know people, and just, do you know, when you like from, I don't know if you guys notice that when people come to America and you just wanted to speak because they just want to make sure they can speak the language. And we are really keen to speak English with natives, with Australians and people who lives here. Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, I just want to see if they can understand me, if I can understand them. And that is the accent barrier as well.
Yes.
So it's fascinating, and Australia is a fascinating place because so many different cultures and people and different accents. It's a really good place to live. I love it.
Well, I tell you, you have made me want to visit because I am just excited to go there. First of all, it's about 4 p.m. in the afternoon right now. And what time is it over there in Australia?
So here is 7:45. Yeah,
Wow.
a.m. Monday.
AM.
Yeah.
And we're Sunday where I'm at, and she's on Monday right now. Monday
Yeah.
morning. It's just amazing to me. It's like really weird in my mind. I'm like, she's already in Monday, yo, and I'm here in Sunday and I'm talking to her. I think it's incredible. And we're talking about purpose right now. And I just feel like the reason why I wanted to bring you on was because as a single person, my last relationship was, gosh, probably about 2 years ago at this point, almost 2 years ago at this point. And um, to know that you can meet someone in 7 months in just a chance occurrence of going to another country and then end up having this person become your husband that you're now building a family with. I just think if that is not the meaning of purpose, I don't know what is. I don't know what is.
Yes. It's
So,
it's it's interesting because you come to the country and you never think that's going to happen. But I know few people that have a similar story as mine. So it happens
Okay.
sometimes.
You see, you got to be careful with your circles because your circles can be, impact you on other levels. You were
Mhm.
surrounded by this type of environment, and here it goes. You caught wind of the bug that hit them too.
Yes, that's right.
It's very cute. I love it. I love it. So I know that you also went there for this opportunity. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? As far as what you did,
Yes.
I know you said you are in engineer architecture. So how does that work? Let me hear a little bit more about that story and how it aligns with your purpose as well.
Yeah, so I always been extremely passionate about construction. I started working construction, I was just 17. So I started work, I got very lucky because in Brazil I went to a building construction school when I was 15. And I got a job in a little interior design company in my small town. I was 17, just designing like kitchens, furniture, wardrobes, and I loved it. I loved it so much. And I was like, how can I work with this? And at the time in Brazil, there was no interior design. Like today, you can study interior design. So I said, oh, I'm going to study architecture. So that's when I started applying for universities and I got into architecture. And I always loved it so much. I was always like that kind of student that want to do everything,
Yeah.
that want to work, that want
Yeah.
to study, that want to be included in all the activities of the university. So we had some really great community connections that we could help community with the university, really good programs. And then when I came to Australia, it was a completely different world again. So completely different from my experience in Brazil, what was amazing. I was so fascinated with everything. And
Yeah.
I started again get involved with everything because I always been like that student that so curious and want to be involved. And here, the beauty of my program was that I could choose my subjects. So it was a lot of fun choosing my own subjects. I chose a lot of subjects in sustainability here
Okay.
and was exposed a bit more on this word that connected a little bit with what I was doing in Brazil, but in a different way. And I just was fascinated with everything I was learning here, loving everything, every moment of my experience here.
Yes.
And that's when I discovered architecture, and like not just architecture, but like was able to get into a more meaningful architecture.
Yes. Tell me more about that because I know when we had discussed earlier, you had told me there's something about the architecture that you do and the building model that you work off of that was very interesting to me. And I feel like it would be something that the audience would love to know more about as well. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes, so throughout my journey studying architecture and my passion about interior design, I started studying how these spaces we live and work affect our health. Not
Yeah.
just our mental health, but also our physical health.
Yes.
And another thing that triggered me to study more about this kind of connection was because I always suffered with allergies myself, really strong allergies. And also, as soon as I started working here in Australia, I had an amazing opportunity to design for children. And when you design for children, Australia have very strong regulations that made me more curious, made me study even more how, like, one example is like how indoor quality can affect our health, and like how can,
Indoor, what's the second word?
sorry, indoor quality.
Okay, indoor quality.
They, yeah, they call indoor quality because we
Okay.
spend a lot of time indoors these days.
Yes.
And some of the things we use in our spaces, like furniture, paint, flooring, they can generate some toxins inside these spaces.
Now, this was very
So,
interesting to me. Can I tell you? Because as I explained to you that I got diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, in 2023, and one of the first things that I researched was stuff that you're talking about, and that was I was sharing that with you. Like that just made I just wish you so much. Like I want your business to take off because it's so necessary what you are sharing right now. Because I learned like the things that I put on my body, my deodorant, the things that I wash my face with, the things that I wash my hair with, the air quality in my house, do you the type of paint that was used, all of these different things can could have impacted over time me getting this disease. So yeah, please dive in on that. I want you to explain it very as finite and as intricately as possible so that we can share with the audience what to look for and just really go deep on this because I think it's so necessary for us to understand this. Please go ahead.
yeah, so when I discovered that I was designing childcares, and the regulations in Australia are very strong, thankfully. You're not allowed to use those kind of toxins for children's spaces. And that made me really curious, made me start researching, reading articles about it. And most people don't understand. And that's when I started my own journey as well. You're talking about cancer. I had, as I said, I had lots of issues with allergies. So I started researching if I made some changes in my house that would help me with my allergies as well. So that's when I started small changes in my own space. At the time, I rented, so I couldn't do major changes like painting.
Could you please share with us those small changes that you made? Because these could be things that we could do who are listening to also help our space. What were some of those changes that you made?
So one of the things I started with was changing all my cleaning products. So thankfully nowadays we can find some non-toxic, more healthy cleaning products on normal supermarkets. So just like swapping cleaning products to natural cleaning products. And then another thing that most people will think like it's really a common sense, but most people doesn't do anymore, is just create some cross ventilation in your house. So what is cross ventilation? Cross ventilation is in the past, in our grandparents' time, and maybe our parents' childhood, the houses were designed in a way that if you open uh, different doors and windows, it creates like a breeze inside the house. You feel that air going through the house. And that's the best thing you can do. That will clean up your house for you, especially if you live in a greenery area, in a beautiful suburb full of trees and things like that. So nowadays it's becoming harder and harder to create this cross ventilation because the houses are becoming so big. But what I say is like, just try to open as many windows as you can and opposite to each other. And then
Yeah.
the air will just pass through your house.
So, in other
He
words, if
knows,
I have a window all the way in the back bedroom, I want to open that. And I have a window all the way in the front living room. I want to open those two. And then if my kitchen is on the left and I have another room on the right, I want to open. So that's cross ventilation, right? So it's like this.
yes,
Just okay. I love it. Go ahead.
that's correct. That's exactly what I do in my house. So I open the kitchen, then I open the back door, I open the living room, and then you will feel it. You will feel that the air just crossed through the room. And then that's when you know things are working. So according to some statistics, we spend 9% of our time indoors nowadays. And that's when,
90%?
yes,
Whew, yeah, because if you think about it, we're leaving from our home to our car, from our car to most likely our job, which is also in a building, right? So we're constantly moving from one building to another, and that space between the house and the car and wherever we're going next, that's probably only about 10% of the time that we're left being outside, is what you're saying.
yes, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like we go from home to work to the gym. If you think about everything is indoors nowadays. So making sure that your home and your indoor air quality is healthier, it's really important. Another very simple thing I've done is starting to put some up indoor plants, but choose them really well. So there are some indoor plants that NASA done a study a few years ago that can help filter the air in your house. So that will help you to get rid of those toxins. So just very simple things that won't cost you so much money, but like spider plant is one of my favorites. They have this ability to just filter some toxins. And some plants, like peace lily, has this ability to help you to minimize mold on your bathroom, or those things that we don't even see, but they can be quite harmful for us. And as I started making those small changes, it's not that something that's going to happen straight away, but I started notice that my allergy was just getting better and better and better. And
Wow.
other changes I've done is exactly what you mentioned. It's just changing some um, products, my own products, just like conditioner, shampoo, soap, and things like that. But I just feel like when I'm talking to people and when I'm talking to my clients, just say, just don't feel so overwhelmed. Small changes can make really big difference. Just simple things, start it small. Don't overwhelm yourself trying to do everything at once, but they can help and you just improve your house so much. And then after that, of course, if you're doing a renovation or if you buy new furniture, you uh, then you can go deeper and start researching what type of I say painting is a big thing because when you think about the surface of your house, it's a lot of surfaces with paint.
Yes.
So that would be the first thing I would see. And it's not that expensive to swap from oil-based to water-based paint.
So
And
are
they
you saying
call,
that a water-based paint is actually better for your home versus the oil-based paint?
yes, yes. And nowadays, some paints even have the a low VOC on them. So you can, or some paints are even better. They have no VOC. They're made from completely natural materials. So this way, when you repainting or doing a renovation, especially if you're doing children's bedroom or children's spaces, I will always recommend to use water-based and non low VOC paint. So this way, it's less toxic for your indoor air quality. It becomes better.
Listen, you're teaching me today. You are teaching me today because I did go as far as changing those items, like I said, like stuff that I put on my body, because we know that the largest organ that we have is our skin. So because our skin is the largest organ, and we sometimes, I remember prior to getting cancer, I I bought up like, so I used to love Bath and Body, love them, and no shade on Bath and Body, but for me, after my diagnosis, I do not use none of those products anymore. You know, I download this app that I actually scan like the barcode to see which products are healthy and which are not. And they ranged like so low. I was like, whoa. stuff that I use on my face, like my cleansers have to be all natural, organic now. Even my lip gloss that I use, it's so much changes that I had to make. But like you said, I did it little by little. Some things I did right away though, like throwing out the Bath and Body stuff, like throwing out those stuff. I just did that right away. Other stuff like changing out, buying filters for my house, as far as, the purifiers. I did those because those were very expensive, so that took a little bit while. Changing out the my water that I use in my sink, that took a little while because to get that was expensive as well. But these are all things because the purifier, the container that you put the water in, like Brita and those stuff, they don't really take out as much toxins as you would think. So I had to go out and get a system that actually connected to my water system that filtrated the water that was coming through my pipes, because I was boiling my fruits and my vegetables, like my potatoes and things like that, my rice, and I was like, I don't even want to boil my potatoes or make my rice in this water anymore. So little things that I did helped to make me mentally feel better about things that I was putting inside of me, you know? And I feel like when I hear you speak, I hear the passion that comes with what you're saying. So it just feels to me like you connecting with this way of doing architecture, it connected you to your purpose. Would you say that's correct?
Yes, that's right. Especially like there are so many things like that make people feel better, but just helping them to understand that making so many small choices and being conscious of what you do, it makes a massive impact in your life. And another thing is just making your home feel like home. So if you are making nowadays, unfortunately, we get so caught up with the media just trying to sell us those really cold, beautiful houses that doesn't reflect who we are. So we just need to remember that our home is supposed to be a sanctuary, a place that you come back and you relax and you recharge and you feel good.
Yes.
So you shouldn't just do things because other people are doing it. So then choosing things with intention, it can take some time. Like sometimes you won't be able to redecorate your house in a month. It's like you said, you made all those choices, made you feel better,
Yes.
and took you some time to do it. So that's why I think most people lost throughout the process. So sometimes it will take you 5 years to get your home where you want to be, because you might have to travel to get some items that will have
Yes.
meaning for you.
Yes.
And another thing is like sometimes I stop buying something. When we moved to our house, I didn't buy any furniture, nothing, because I knew I wanted to renovate the house. And then I was like, I don't want to get something and then just sell it. And I always feel like it's just not just because of me, it's because of the environment as well. And
Yes.
then after we renovated, I started buying this furniture that actually had meaning for me. Like make sure I chose some more sustainable furniture, local crafters, and things that I see. And when people ask, oh, what about a beautiful dining table? I can say, oh, that's made by a couple just down the street. They have this little workshop, and you feel so proud to tell this story about how you're also supporting local business. And then it's just like when you choose your cosmetics, you look at the ingredients for
Yes.
that. That's
Yes.
correct. Yes. So for everything we do, just make sure you look the ingredients.
Yes.
So it's like when you're doing going to the dietitian, and she teaches you how to go to supermarket, and when she say less ingredients is better, it's healthier,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
It's the same for anything. So if you are choosing like your bed linen, if it's 100% cotton, that's much better than if you see five ingredients there. So
Yeah.
just be like, pay attention on what you're buying. Like, for example, go to the website, look, and if they don't have the information, don't feel ashamed to just send an email and say, could you just explain what's actually in your product?
Yes.
Same thing for furniture. Like, if you buy new furniture for your house, just look for solid wood. If you can't find, that nowadays is becoming really hard and can be more expensive, just
Yeah.
look what it's in that furniture.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure, email the company and they will come back. They'll come back with a lot of explanation, because being an architect, I can tell you that, because lots of times we are choosing things for our clients, or we are choosing things for especially big construction projects. They will send you information about what you're buying. So don't be ashamed of researching and asking questions and just looking to labels, because more you look into it, more we as consumers require these companies to tell us what's going on their products.
Yeah.
They will make better products for us instead of just assuming that we don't understand
Yeah.
and we're just going to accept our products to be full of chemicals that we don't even know what they are, where they're coming from,
Absolutely.
and how they impact our bodies and our families. Do you know?
Yeah, you're speaking my language, Etienne. You are speaking my language because when I go to even the supermarket, I'm checking the label. I want to know what exactly is in this. And if it's too much stuff that I can't read or pronounce, it's a no for me. I'm like, I don't care who told me it tastes good. It might taste good, but it ain't good for me. you know
Yes,
so I'm telling you, you do not need to go through cancer to get that mindset. You can get that mindset today, just by recognizing that what we put in our bodies or what we wear on our clothes, or the furniture that we sit on and lay on and sometimes even sleep on, and even our bed sheets is going to make a difference ultimately in what is getting inside here, right?
yes, that's right. And if we think about it, our grandparents and our parents wasn't as exposed to all those chemicals as we are. Because, like in my case,
Yeah.
my grandma, she grown up in a farm. She was outside every day. She made her own food, so she never didn't used to go supermarket, and they made their own clothes and bed linens and everything, because they would collect the cotton from the farm and make everything themselves. So if you think about that, this a whole word started like probably one generation ago
Yeah.
with our parents. That's when people started buying everything and having supermarkets and having living in big cities.
Yeah, when
Um,
I learned that eggs never used to be in the fridge, but because of something that's inside of them, which is why they need to be in the fridge now, I even stopped eating eggs. I was like, oh no, this is like it's so deep. It's so deep. But what I did purchase though was I purchased Groundin. Have you heard of Groundin?
no,
So
no.
Groundin is a company that they make products that if you're not getting outside as often and putting your feet in the ground, you're able to buy these products that give you the same effects as if you were walking on grass. So I bought their sheets. I bought, like, even right now, my feet is on one of their mats because I did, some research on it and it actually works. So look into grounding. I do actually, think that it's because when I was going through chemo, I wasn't able to sleep. And after I
Mm.
bought the sheet set for my bed, the grounding sheet set, I'm able to sleep much better now. So I know that as far as that, it worked. It worked.
Yeah. So when I think about grounding, I'm a bit old school still. I love going outside and just putting my feet on the grass when I
Me
wake
too.
up. Yeah, so I don't think I know that maybe the indoor products can help, but as I
Not,
said, there's nothing
yes,
like nature. So if you have
absolutely.
a little bit of earth, a little bit of grass, just get outside every day and just put your feet there and set up an intention for your day. I know that nowadays I love technology and how technology help us, but nature is still our best healer. And I just feel like we lost that connection a little bit. And hopefully, as we get the next generations, we can reconnect a bit more with our environment. That's another thing Australia teaches me a lot because they are so connected with nature here. They love outdoor activities. I never been hiking so much in my life, and we're very blessed. We have a house with garden, but if you guys have a little bit of grass or a little bit of garden,
Yeah,
just
go to
getting
the
that
park.
break. Yeah,
Go to the
yeah. Go to
park
the
because
park.
in New York, it's like concrete jungle in certain places. Like where I live, my landlord has a backyard, so I'm able to go in the backyard sometimes. But for the most part, it's like you have to go to the park. You have to you got to find a space where you can get. And even when you get there, sometimes you don't even want to walk because, people are not cleaning up after their dogs. It's like so much stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy. So, I've lived here forever, but I'm used to it, but it's not always, it doesn't always give me what I need when I need it. So,
oh, that's so sad. That's what I feel um, in Brazil as well. When we go to São Paulo, even my city, like it's a country town, it's a small town, but there is not as many parks as I wish it did. So, and that's another thing that I hope it start changing as people start getting more conscious. Some places like Japan are creating these micro forests and just like spaces that bring a bit more greenery to the cities and create these little pockets of greenery where people can spend some time. It's nothing like you walking on this really hot concrete place, lots of buildings, and then you get into this little pocket of greenery and have a coffee and have a chat with your friends.
yeah.
We can see the change in
Yeah,
us straight
exactly.
away, can't we?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can. We can. So I'm just gonna, I think everything that you have shared definitely aligns with what it means to live in purpose, to be able to have a role as an architect and bring in such knowledge to this industry and what you can do with it and what you've shared can help so many people. And I think that's what living in purpose is. It's not selfish. It's about what do I have to offer that I can share with someone else that can benefit them. And I think you meeting your husband the way you did, that leading you into now this amazing business, amazing career, I feel like all of that is just alignment. And just a smile on your face, just hearing you talk about this tells me that you are happy with the state that you're living in. And I think sometimes when we're not living in purpose, we don't necessarily feel that. And this podcast, when I created it, it was the idea that it was going to be able to share experiences from people just like you who can share what purpose looks like in a practical way. And I think you have done exactly what that is. So before I let you get out of here, I want to ask you, what would you say to the listeners who are looking to balance, their family and their professional life and even their faith? Just share something that can help them on how you're able to balance all of that.
I think one of the things I learned a lot is I just try to live in the present as much as you can. That took me a long time. I feel that your podcast is really important and bring a lot of light for people because that just make you stop and think about how can I live in purpose. And sometimes it starts inside. I had to do a lot of work on myself to just stop and start living the moment.
Yes.
And I love work. I really like my work. I love talking to people, and I love what I do. But I had to learn that not all. Sometimes we put work above all. So
Mhm.
nowadays, I take more time, way more time, to spend with my husband, my dog, and looking forward to have my children and
Yes.
just spend time with them and just be present. I think this is for me right now at this moment. It's being the most important thing, trying to be present as much as I can. If I go to when I go to work, I'm completely present and give my best there. When I get home, I'm present here with my family and enjoying every second. So yeah, that's been my learnings on the past few years. Just try to breathe and be present.
Ah, I love it. I love it because so many times we are not present. We have this going on and that going on, and something is right in front of us, and we're not even you know recognizing how important and how valuable those things that you just said are, which is family, having that love of animals like your pet, and waiting for your child to be born. All of those things we have to be present with, because before we know it, that moment could be gone. That is so much things, and if we don't recognize that, we can actually lose sight of it, and then before we know it, that time has been spent, and we look back and say, where did the time go? So i love
Yes.
i love what you just said. That's so true. I appreciate that.
Oh,
That's a
thank you so
reminder.
much.
Yes, that's a
Thank. I
reminder
appreciate
for
you
us.
having me here. It's been really good. It's a great experience.
So tell me, is there anything before we wrap up that you want to share possibly with the listeners that you might be doing, or how to connect with you, or anything you want to promote, anything like that?
So I did. I have a website where I post a blog post every week. So lots of things I told here I write about every week. So if you want to sign to get into my website, www. Dot happyhealthyhomes.au. I wrote an ebook about non-toxic nursery, and we're also coming up with some it will be coming some new things there as we develop. So, if you need to talk to with me, or if you want to consult or anything, just email me through the website and I will get back to you. So, yes, but um, we have a lot of content there if you want to read. And I explain about few sustainable certifications as well, or so these sustainable certifications can help us to choose products as well. So if you're curious about it, or if you need more assistance with choosing products, those certifications can actually help us a lot.
Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do is have you send me the website that you have, so that we get the correct spelling out to the listeners, so that they, if they do want to reach out to you, they have that contact information. I do. I love this. I loved everything that you shared. I thought it was so important, so valuable, and you gave value to this platform today. And I appreciate you so much. And we will be keeping in touch. Okay?
Thank you so much. I hope you come and visit us soon.
I will.
I assure you, Australia is very nice. So yeah, looking forward to see you soon again.
All right. Thank you so much. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you too. Bye bye.
Bye. Oh, that was just amazing. I had such a nice time speaking to Etienne, and I will be leaving that information at the end in the bio. So just look for it. I'm gonna post it down there somewhere in the bio so you guys can reach out to her. She had so much information for us today, and I'm so thankful. Listen, you guys, please come back for our next episode when it airs. We're going to be dropping a new episode once every week on Tuesdays by 5 p.m. So look out for that. And I will catch you guys on the next one. And remember, continue to live in purpose. All right. You guys have a nice day. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.